So Messi studied biochemistry and she has experience in healthcare. She worked as a medical laboratory assistant in Abuja. She's also an administrative assistant. She loves cooking, spending her free time watching K-dramas and C-dramas. She's someone who appreciates a calm lifestyle and enjoys staying at home to explore different cultures through movies and shows. Today, we have the honor of having Messi here. She would be sharing her journey. So it's going to be like a question and answer session. I would ask her questions and she would share with us. Please, if you have questions, the chat room is your friend. Please put all your questions in the chat room. So, Messi, welcome. Thank you for
Yeah,
agreeing to do
thank
this.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
So, do you want to share a bit about yourself? I know I've introduced you. Please, could you introduce yourself again?
Okay, my name is Mercy Emenike. Yeah, um, I did biochemistry in school and I'm an administrative assistant. Yeah, that's all. Ade already introduced like pretty much everything about me, so I think I'll just go straight to my journey in French.
So, before you go straight to your journey in French, I'm going to be asking you questions because I want us to make this as conversational as possible.
Yeah.
Prior to you deciding to learn French,
Mm.
did you have any prior knowledge of French language?
No, just the one I did in secondary school, like just one, just two. Yeah, that's all. Aside that, I didn't have any knowledge about it. Yeah.
Great. And so, what made you make up your mind as a laboratory assistant, someone who studied biochemistry, to go learn French?
Yeah. Because at first I didn't know French was somehow connected to um it's a pathway coming to Canada. I didn't know that. Yeah. My sisters just told me, oh, it's good for you to learn another language to be well versed in something aside English. Just know something else. That would be very nice. And yeah, that's why I picked up the interest for.
So, when did you start learning French?
I started the first time I came across the language was in 2022.
Okay.
I think I was on strike. I was still in the university. I was on strike, and the school were not working then, and I was doing my IT, and there was a French language center next to my house, close to me. That's when my sister mentioned it. I went there to ask them how I can register and all, and I registered for the class. Just 1 month, I think 1 month. I did 1 month, and school resumed. I couldn't continue the French, so I just let it go and focused on school till I was done with school. Yeah.
Yeah. So now tell me about your French language learning for the PR journey. Tell us.
Oh,
We're here to hear you. Yes.
okay, that was in 2024 when I finished school, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's good for me to go back to learn French, where to pick up from where I dropped off. So I went to Alliance Française. I did my French in Alliance Française Port Harcourt. I went back there. It was April. Yeah, it was April. The When I went, it was March, but they didn't have any section. The section had already gone too far. I couldn't join in the middle. So they were already closing. So they asked me to wait till the next one begins in April. I'm like, okay. And April, I went there and I asked about the classes. They told me the one they had in section was A1 and they had B1 going on, B1 starting, but they didn't have A2, right? And me, uh, I've been practicing by myself on
So
Duolingo.
what were the,
Yeah,
okay,
while I
you're
was,
using Duolingo. Yeah,
yeah,
please share all the
Duolingo.
tools you used to
Yeah,
practice.
I was using Duolingo. I also watched like videos, Alexa videos too.
Mm.
So when they said that, they said before they could put me in a class. In fact, they wanted me to start from A1, right?
Mhm.
But me, I didn't want to start from A1 again because I felt like I already knew some basics, so I didn't want to start from A1. And they were like, okay, they're going to test me to know my level. And they
Mm.
did test me. And honestly, I wasn't qualified to be in B1. I was supposed to be in a class lower. But there was no B2, right? Sorry, there was no A2, right? That
Mm.
time. So I had to, I just insisted. I pushed. I'm like, just put me here. I'm going to try. I'll do all I can. They didn't want to, but yeah, they
So
put
can
me
I
in
just
the class.
interrupt you there?
Yeah,
So, let's take some steps backwards because,
yeah.
B1, and for those of us who do not know B1, A1, I'm going
Mm,
to explain. Besides, I'm happy
mm,
that she went to Alliance Francaise. I worked in
mm.
Alliance Francaise Lagos for
Oh,
5 years. When I
really?
was in Nigeria, I worked there for
Okay.
5 years. In fact, my French teacher training was in Alliance Francaise Lagos.
Mm,
So A1, B1, A1, there's six levels in language learning. There's A,
okay.
B, C. A is for beginners, B is for intermediate, and C is for advanced. I got
Mm.
my own C1 certification as far back as
Oh,
2005.
wow.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was when I was in the university because I
Yeah, that's
studied French.
really nice.
So now, when you say you studied French for 1 month
Mm,
near your house, and
mm.
then you did a placement test in Alliance, and they put you in B1, how many hours were you learning a day within that 1 month?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
So you had said that while you were waiting for school, you
Mm,
went to one center close to your house and you studied
mm.
French for 1 month. How many hours were you doing classes a day at that time?
Oh, it was the classes were from 9 to 1 p.m.
9 to 1 p.m. So that's
Yeah.
roughly, if my math is correct, 10. Sorry, I'm counting in my hand, 10,
Yeah.
11, 12. So you were doing
Every day,
four
Monday to
hours
Friday.
every day, Monday to
Yeah,
Friday,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is 20 hours a week.
Mm.
Amazing. So now you now went to Alliance, they put you were supposed to be in A2, but they put you in B1. So how did you survive?
It wasn't easy. When I went to class, okay, we're nine in class, nine students. I came in, I was the last to come in, and all they were saying, I'm like, these people, they're more advanced than me. I couldn't hear my colleagues, they were like faster than me, but I'd already entered the class, right? I couldn't go back. I had to just make my way through and meet them where they were.
How did you do that? What were the practical things you did?
First, I I listened to my colleagues, my camera the class. Yeah, I listened to them. I They told me the tips they've used, the other language apps like Buzo that they've used. I had to get that for myself. I had to watch more videos, like to go back, and they shared and the textbook they used in A2. I had to go back. I had to revisit that because me, I didn't do that. I had to revisit that, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, watched videos, kept reading every day. That's all I did. Yeah.
So in Alliance, how many hours of classes were you taking?
It was still 4 hours per
So it
day.
was still 20 hours a week.
Yes, it was still
It was still
20
20
hours.
hours a week.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you're going to get the recording if you're in the community. Yes,
Mm,
if you're in the community, you get a recording. If you're not in the
yeah.
community, then you will have to join the community. So what you're telling us right now is that you did 20 hours every week.
Mm.
And how long the entire journey took you how long? Like in terms of months, how many months? Or was it 1 year? Just share that with us.
The entire journey took me 1 year, 1 year, because I wrote my exams in April.
Okay.
So it's approximately 1 year.
So I'll come back
In
to that
April
exam.
2025, yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back to the exam you wrote. Now,
Mm.
what was the hardest part of learning French for you?
Mm. The hardest part of everything was hard. Everything was hard because when we always did things in class, like we wrote an essay, when we submit my book, you'll see the red pen, the amount of red pen the teacher is correcting. Mine it was always extra. The teacher is correcting. oh, you did not put an accent here, you did this, you didn't do that. And another thing that helped me was there was a girl in my class. Her name is Madam Tasha. Yeah. So she was to write TEF. She was very determined to write TEF in June, and we were almost approaching June. So, and she was the best in class then. So I got close to her. She kept teaching me. If I didn't understand what the teacher said, I go back to her and she explains it. Yeah, she pretty much helped me during my friend journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you found everything hard, but you
Mm,
had help.
yeah.
And one of the help you had is already you were signing up for the classes, doing
Yeah.
4 hours every day, which was
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
then you got closer to a lady who was
Yeah.
good and you were able to interact with her. Can you
Yeah.
share again some of the apps that you used to boost your for because people will think that you're doing 4 hours a day. Why do you need to go the extra mile?
You need extra mile, oh. You really need extra mile. In fact, there's some in this this thing, French learning journey, you would be discouraged sometimes, but that's not the end of the world. You just need to keep pushing, right? And also another thing that would keep you going is when you are with people that are doing the same thing as you. You're with people that, okay, maybe someone who has done it before. Yes, the person would encourage you. The person will tell you, oh, I've tried and tried and tried. It didn't work out the first time for me. So you're not the first person that is going through this. You just need all the support you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So if you have any questions, please put all your questions in the chat. My eye is there, so I'll pick it up. Now,
Mm,
you said a lot of things in answering that question. So you
mm,
said you need extras. Now, some of our students are very busy people.
mm,
They they can't do 20 hours so you
mm.
need 20 hours a week for 1 year. So that's
Yeah.
approximately, so if we have 52, so if we have 52 weeks, I guess. So please, I want to do my maths. Sorry, because I just want this to be as practical as possible.
Yeah.
So 52 times 20. So you're looking at 1,000 hours, 1,040 hours in a year to get you ready, which is good. Now, you talked about giving up. Did you ever feel like giving up?
Yes, I did.
And
I
how did
did
you
feel
manage?
like at first it was hard, but when I finally came to the realization that French is going to help me be where I want to be,
Hmm.
it wasn't an option to give up. So you
Mm,
just have to try.
yeah,
And listening to other people's story, I'm like, "Ah, they don't have to head today. You can also do it. You can do it. You just need to keep pushing, have the right materials to practice with, and yeah,
yeah.
that was
So
it.
I like what you said. You said you were thinking about the end goal
Mm,
and you looked at other people and told yourself they don't have to it. So this is something I say. If you want to do something, you would have an excuse to do it.
mm.
And if you do not want to do something, you will have an excuse not to do
Want
it.
to do it, yeah.
And
Mm,
you also said that it is hard. Life is hard. You choose your
mm,
hard. I'll come back to that.
mm.
So, apart from 4 hours and the tools that you used, how many hours did you use with self-study, you on your own, trying to go through what you've learned on a daily basis? Just, I know it's not, you cannot give us the exact number of hours, but let's give us a.
I can't give you the exact time,
Mhm.
but all I can say is that I think I surrounded myself with French. I
Hmm.
cut off social media, like anything that wasn't helping me, I wasn't doing at that point. Even watching TV, like everything was just YouTube, French, reading. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I would just be awake all night. I remember my sister telling me, "Oh, go and sleep." People say, "Oh, you don't sleep." I wasn't sleeping.
So what I
again.
hear you say is that you surrounded yourself with French. And for those of you
Yes.
who are joining our webinar for the first time, I had a webinar like a couple of months ago talking about how, I think it was in November, talking about
Mm.
how I did studied my own French in Nigeria. All my French I studied in Nigeria before I started traveling. Thank you. So how were you participating when you were a student in class? You had 9 people in class.
Yeah.
What did you do in class that helped you?
Uh, in class that helped me, I just in class, what did I do that helped me? I don't understand
So
you.
what I'm saying is that I'll
Okay.
give you a scenario.
Mm,
Some people will go to class, especially when it's you were going to live class, which
mm,
is okay.
mm.
But
Yeah,
some people will be they'll be having their classes on Zoom. They don't
yeah,
talk during lectures, they don't participate, they're just by themselves.
yeah.
What kind of student were you?
Oh, I was like that. I wasn't, I don't, because I had like low confidence. You know, my classmates, they were all bright and shiny. Me, I was scared of making mistakes. I was a bit laid back in class. I wasn't forward asking questions. It was later along the line, I'm like, oh, I need to start asking questions. And then the teachers paid more attention to me because how like I said, I wasn't supposed to be in that class, right?
Mhm.
But I just struggled. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I hear you say is that initially you were shy because of your
Mm,
self-esteem. You felt
mm.
everybody was better than you and you
Yes,
kept
yes,
quiet. And that
yeah.
meant that your teachers were not paying attention to you, right?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
But the moment you made up your mind that, oh, I want to,
Yeah,
give it a try
yeah,
and overcome my lack of
yeah,
confidence, the
yeah,
teacher started paying attention to you.
yeah.
Someone is asking, how did you combine work and studying? I think you weren't working at that
Okay,
time
I
again.
wasn't working then. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't working. I just focused on getting this done. I wasn't working.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
I see the other questions, so I'm coming back to them. So for you to prepare yourself for the exam and everything, what methods or strategy did you think worked for you,
Mm.
especially for speaking? So we're going to take it one after the other because there are
One
four
after
steps.
the other.
What
Yeah.
method worked for us? Because a lot of people, and this is funny, and I don't mean to shade anyone. I saw a result from one of the people teaching French on TikTok. The person had C2 in listening, C2 in reading, but the person had B2 in writing and speaking. So something is not adding up because if at all you're going to have a lower score in your speaking and writing, it should be 1 step lower, not 2 steps lower.
Yeah.
So what strategy did you use to help you with speaking? Let's start with speaking.
Okay. With speaking, I got yeah, my friend helped me during speaking. I had to get a conversational partner. Um, Even the teachers in school helped me. Like they would just call. I had a teacher, Monsieur Johannes. He just calls me and will speak in French. Describe what you did today. Where did you go? Say it all in French. And if I made a mistake, he would correct immediately. So that way I was speaking up. And also before we come, I also had a community, a Telegram French community. I
Mhm,
happened to know them,
mhm,
and they call every night. They do speaking, so we call. Someone places the call, and we speak. We talk in French. If one person is making a mistake, another person, because we are not all learning in the same place, right? These are
mhm,
different people from different places, so
mhm.
everybody just shares what they know, what they've learned. So that's how.
Yeah, so you building the community and then
Yeah,
you trying to speak.
yeah.
How did you overcome? Because even as a student, while I was learning, the fear of making mistakes, how did you overcome that? The fear of making mistakes or people laughing at you when you make mistakes in French.
I don't think I fully overcame that. Yeah.
Okay.
But before I speak, I come to the mirror. I record myself speaking. I speak to myself as I'm looking at the mirror. Yeah. That way too, it would also help you. Before I come to speak, I'm like, okay, I make sure this is right before. Yeah.
So how did you, what strategies did you use for listening? Because these French people, they talk as if they have hot yam in their mouth.
Oh yeah.
How did you overcome that?
Okay. For listening, um, right from when I started the school, like I told you, I was close to the lady in my class, so she told me to always listen to French radios, RFA. When I started, I wasn't hearing Jack. I wasn't hearing. I just, but my teacher would say, just keep listening. Keep listening. Your ears are opening. You don't know it, but your ears are opening to the language. Yeah, so that's what I kept doing every morning. There's a lady, we come back after classes, we come back together. We go to school together, we come back together. She plays the radio, so she's in my class. She plays the radio while going, while coming. So it's just keep hearing French. Just keep you don't understand what they are saying, just keep hearing it. Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Um,
With time, you would pick up. With time, you would realize, oh, this is what they meant. This is the word. Yeah.
the next question I have is, if you were to start learning French all over again, what do you think you would do differently?
What I think I would start from the very beginning, not miss any step, because if you miss a step to jump, oh, it's not easy because it's going to affect you. You might
Mm,
think, oh, this is not English. It will definitely affect you. So if I was to do French all over, I will start from the very beginning. Take it one step at a time, not jump. Yeah.
thank you. Now
Mm,
let's talk about the exam.
mm,
First you had to learn you had to learn the language. How
yeah.
did you prepare for the exam?
Mm. Okay. Um, I did my exam twice.
Thank you for telling us the truth. A lot of
I
people
did
need to
my
hear this
exam.
truth.
I did my exam twice because the first time I failed my speaking. I had a 9. I just needed like one more mark to get me there, but I had a 9 in my in my
Nine, when you say nine, the IELTS, people can relate when it comes to IELTS.
mm,
Can
that's
you
a B1.
a B1
A
ahead? That's what we
B1,
want to
yeah.
hear. You had B1 in your speaking. Okay.
A B1.
So with the first exam, please help us. What were the levels you got for the first exam? For speaking, reading, writing, and
Oh my God, I
listening?
can't even remember.
No, you don't have to go and look for it. Just give
Yeah.
us a rough estimate if you can. And if you can't remember,
Yeah.
it's fine.
For my listening, I had a C1,
Mhm.
and for my reading, I think I had a B2,
Okay.
B2 in the normal score, but for the
Mhm.
listening,
For the
I
speaking, you
didn't
had
get it.
B1.
Yes,
Okay.
speaking.
Now tell us about the how you did it and how you did the second exam.
I did my first exam in October. October, that same year, October.
Mm.
It wasn't easy, but when the
So how did you
results
prepare for the exam? Because learning the language is different because
is different, yes.
a lot of
When I
people mix it
started,
up. They want to learn and prepare for the exam at the same time. You have
yeah,
to learn first and then prepare
yeah,
for
yeah,
exam.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I learned, um, I got to, I joined B1. So when
Mhm.
they got to B2, I'm like, okay, let me write Delph. I wrote Delph first.
Oh, you wrote Delph first.
Yes,
Okay.
I wrote Delph.
Which of
I
the
wrote
Delph?
Delph B2. B2.
Bedo. So
Mm,
sorry to pause there. For those who do not know Delph, so there are different types of exams you can write, but the only two that are allowed for immigration is TEF and
mm,
TCF.
yeah,
But Delph has different levels that
yeah.
is like okay, I've learned. Let me do an exam
Let
and
me
get it. Let me
try.
do an
Yeah,
exam and get it. I used
yeah.
to when I worked in Alliance Francaise, I used to be an examiner for all levels of Delph from A1 to B2.
So, mhm.
So I used to be an examiner and I used to mark people. I used to have people in the room, assessing them for speaking as well.
Mm.
So please go ahead.
Yeah, so I prepared for my Delph and I wrote that after the Delph, then jumped right into TCF. Yeah. So
So
during the
so the
TCF,
first exam you wrote was TCF, right?
Yes, I didn't
Okay.
write TEF. No, when I came into the French, I wanted to write TEF.
Why
But
did you change your mind?
my like I said, my colleagues, they were talking about TCF. They're like, TCF is better. They have and me then I didn't know anything about French or and the
The
exams. I
exams.
did they just
Okay.
kept on saying that the TEF is the TCF is better, the success rate for TEF is low and all of that. And the only person I met that was saying talking about TEF was the lady, just one of them. She was to write her exam in June, but when
Mm.
she wrote the exam, she failed.
Wow.
Yeah, she failed, and that frightened me. In fact, I think I cried that day. I'm like, okay, I can't believe someone who knows it all. I can't believe she failed this. And then what about me? How am I going to? I'm like, okay, oh, I had to meet the others. I'm like, people should show me, tell me more about this TCF. Then that's when I changed my mind to now do
Do
TCF instead of
TCF.
TEF. Yeah.
Mm. And so in the other webinar we did, we talked about the difference between TEF and TCF. So if you want to know more about that, we'll share that. So you were talking about your first exam that you failed. What
Mm,
did you now do differently to pass the second exam?
mm. What I did differently was that I spoke more. I spoke more. I left my house to stay with someone, another of my classmates. I
Wow.
lived with her 1 month before my exam. In there, each morning I was speaking. She would speak. She had kids, but when she sent her kids to school, she would speak with me. And I'm so thankful for her for letting me stay in her house. She just made me speak every time. And I also had a teacher that would call to speak. Like I was speaking different places. I was just talking to myself. Sometimes she would just ask a question. You have to say it in French. She would ask me about because in speaking, they have three parts, right? Where
Mhm.
you introduce yourself, yeah, and the conversational one, and then the debate one. So
Mm.
she kept on doing that. Every time she would tell me, present yourself, present yourself. So the more you say it, the more it comes out naturally, right? Yeah, so that's what
I
I
have
did.
one question. A lot of people, they try to speak, but their accent is not good. Their pronunciation is not good. How did you manage?
Yeah, there were times in class when I say something, my teacher would tell me that's not the correct pronunciation. I had to go and learn the correct pronunciation.
Mm.
And in class, we did reading. That's where reading comes. They will tell this, read from this paragraph to this paragraph so they can hear you how you speak, right? And
Mhm.
correct you. So, yeah, that's how.
There's a question in the chat. How was difficult writing in French? Like the writing part, was it difficult?
Yeah, at first it was difficult. It was difficult because I told you there were lots of red pen in my notes when I started, but I had to learn. I watched videos, and I kept on writing, especially during my DELF preparation. I had to learn. I just learned how to write essays. I kept writing, writing, writing. At times, I and my colleagues will pick a topic. Oh, let's write about this topic. And when we come to school, we are going to compare, like, oh, let me see what you wrote about. And we'll read each other's this thing. So it helped. It helped. It really helped.
So what you have been saying so far is just practice, practice, practice.
Practice, 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 and have same people that are doing the same similar things with you too, so that when you're down, they would boost you. They would
Mhm.
remind you this is why you're doing this thing. You need to continue. Yeah. So
Mm.
that community is very important.
So tell us, when you did the second exam, what were your scores, if you don't mind sharing with us, and how did you feel?
Uh I had C1 in my speaking. I had C1 in my speaking. I was very happy. Like I passed the exam. Like finally, I was happy. I was really, really happy.
And how did you now go about, getting into the adding it to your PR, I don't know, when you were in the pool?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
Like, after you finished, you
Mm.
now entered. Was it after that you entered the pool, or you had been in the pool before?
No, I had not been in the pool before. I needed French to be in the pool. So it was
So
after
could you
that.
share more on that? Yeah.
Huh?
Could you share more on that, please?
Yeah, that was after I wrote my French. I needed my French to get into the pool. So when I wrote my French, that's when I got into the pool. Then after I did French, I did IELTS. Then
Oh, so you did
so
French first before IELTS.
yeah, I did French first before IELTS.
Hmm. Can I end my microphone camera? I'm asking questions to Messi. Yeah, I'll open it up for questions from everybody, but I just wanted us to, have these sessions. Please hold on.
Mm.
So you did, and then you entered the pool. How long did it take you from being in the pool to getting your ITA?
Oh, it took really long time because my results came out first week of March,
Hmm.
and um I did IELTS two
Okay.
weeks and I wrote IELTS that same March.
Hmm.
But that was the last they did their last draw, French. They did their last draw in March. I didn't know that was the last draw.
Mm.
And it took a while. The next time they did the draw was September
Wow.
2025. Yeah, they took a break apparently. So it was September 5th I got an invite.
ITA.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
from it took from September to January to conclude everything. Yeah.
oh, so between September when you got your ITA, your PR was
Yes.
ready in January.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, what advice do you have for our students? So, the only difference is that we don't have everyday classes.
Mm,
And the reason is that most of our clients are people that are working. They don't have 4 hours to commit every day,
yeah.
but they have 10 hours. They're supposed to be technically spending 10 hours every week instead of your own 20 hours.
Mm.
You did 20 hours and you did 1 year. Now they are doing 10 hours and they want to do it in less than 1 year. First, do you think that is possible? If it is possible, what would be your advice?
Everyone has like different brain capacity, right? And
Mhm.
study abilities. So you know yourself better than anyone else. No one else knows you better than yourself. If you want to do it, you want to get it faster. That means you need to put in a lot of work. I think I've heard stories of people who worked as well, and who also did French. The rate at which they studied is crazy. They kept everywhere. They are at night. They are studying. You know, so it just depends on you. How
Mm.
far are you willing to go for what you want?
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Someone is asking, how did you prepare for IELTS and TCF at the same time? No, she did her TCF before preparing for
Yeah,
IELTS.
but my TCF, I did TCF first before I am.
Yes. And this is what I tell people as well that even the IELTS, imagine the English that all of us grew up with. People
Yeah,
still fail IELTS.
yeah,
Now they want to learn French in 3 months
three
and
months
pass.
and pass. It's not
Abba.
easy.
Yeah. So I would open it up now. If you have a question, please, so that we can make it more orderly, just raise your hand, use the raise hand button and unmute yourself. We don't want everybody unmuting at the same time. So if you have a question, Ali has a question. So Ali, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself to ask your question. And if any other person has questions, please raise your hand. Ali, please go for it.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. And can I open my camera, please?
Sure, you can.
Mm.
Um, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ali.
Hey guys. Actually, I'm not from Nigeria. I'm from Asia, and I just really so much really glad to hear Mercy how she worked hard, follow her dreams. Like right now, she got permanent resident of Canada, and I have a question: how was difficult? You prepared the same time between French test like TEF or Tech and IELTS general training. How you prepared in the same time?
I didn't do IELTS and French same time. I did my French first and the results came, then I jumped into IELTS.
Yeah, so Ali, what she's saying is that she had concluded with the TCF, finished
Yes,
it before
finished.
preparing for the IELTS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. And last question. Which books you use it to preparing the French test in IELTS? Which books you use it?
Okay, for the IELTS, I used the Cambridge books.
Oh,
I think I did
can I show
from
you?
11 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I Okay. I
IELTS
had
was
the
one.
Cambridge books. If you want, I can show you. Maybe it was you prepared to read this Cambridge, right? I just had right now Cambridge two
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
books.
for the purpose of this webinar, we would like to just focus on French. I
yeah,
understand that you're also interested in
Sorry.
academics. Yeah, so we
yeah,
can always share more about IELTS later. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you. Someone is asking for a lot of people are interested in IELTS as well. So we
yeah.
have partners. If you want to know more about IELTS, I can share my partners' details
Mm.
about IELTS.
IELTS,
But
yeah,
because I don't know anything about IELTS. I did
yeah,
IELTS too when I was
yeah,
coming to Canada.
yeah,
Whatever information I give you might not be the correct thing. I
yeah.
always prefer you speak to the experts. So if you
Mm.
want more details about IELTS, please reach out after today, and then I will be able to share details about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? Anybody else? Any other questions? If there are no questions, I think we'll just leave it here because
Yeah,
I just wanted Mercy to share a story. I hope you've
yeah.
been inspired by what she shared. IBK
Mm.
has a question. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good
Yeah,
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
everyone.
ma'am.
good
Yes,
afternoon.
ma'am. Please, I'm a bit kind of lost because TCF, TEF, I just get a full meaning of that? Is it possible?
Yes,
So
of course.
I'm kind
So
of
what I'm going to do after now, I will share details of the webinar we did in November. We always have webinars like this from time to time. TEF,
Okay.
test d'évaluation française.
Mm.
TCF is test de connaissance française. So
Mm.
they are two different things. And I did TEF when I was
Oh,
coming.
really?
I
Wow,
did
that's
TEF.
great.
The reason why people, and now maybe I should just share this because a lot of
Yeah.
people have questions around the difference between TEF and
See
TCF.
if I see.
TEF is not more difficult than TCF. It is just technical. So TEF will give you things in the exams that has to do with science, that has to do with history, and the language is a bit standard, more standard than TCF. TCF is a bit relaxed. And
Mm.
that's why a lot of people just jump for TCF. And all you want is just to get your PR, go for TCF because it makes your life easy. But IDTF, I can tell you that it's more technical. It's more technical than TCF.
okay.
Yeah. I
All
hope that
right.
answers
Thank you
your
for your
question.
answer. Okay,
Yeah.
please. I think last question for now. Okay. So I don't know. Could you just please help out with like let's say minimum or let's say maximum of what's the costs? Because
When you say
it won't be nice.
cost is in terms of what?
Yes.
Is it for classes?
Yes, the classes, exam,
So for
plus or
classes, it
minus.
depends on where you're taking the class. So if you take the class with us, we have different programs. So you will have to speak to us after now. In fact, we have a new class starting in April. So I'm going to share more about that. So if you want that,
Okay.
it depends on where you're learning. For the exam, it depends on your location. For those in Canada, the pricing is different. I think in Nigeria, it's about 750,000 naira now.
Yeah, it's 750K.
750,000 naira for the exam. So it's not even cheap.
Mm.
So if you do not prepare well and you go and throw away 750,000, oh
Yeah.
wow, that's a huge loss. Okay,
Yes. All right.
so
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome. Mercy, one last question from me, since there's no other question. The
Yeah.
last question is this. Now you're in Canada, how are you finding it? People want to know.
Mm. I'm loving it here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm loving it here. Um, I just like it here.
Oh gosh. I like that. I like that. So would you also say that your journey to French has ended?
No, but it's not as intense as it used to be, right? It hasn't ended because I still play my French podcast, learn by myself, like watch movies in French and all of that. But now this is just self-learning. The
Yeah.
difference is that it's not as intense as I had to push because it's different when you're learning something like at your own leisure than when you're learning something for you need to write this exam. Yeah, so it's different.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mercy. I
Yeah.
think we've done about 45 minutes, which is
Mm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Please, if you have any question, this is the time to ask your question now, or we call it a day. So while we're trying to see if anybody has questions, we have two classes starting in April. We have the TCF class for beginners. If you've never learned French before, our program is 12 months. We don't do magic here. Our program is 12 months. So we have the TCF class starting in April. For those who are interested, it's 12 months. But remember, also know that it depends on your preparation because you can still do 12 months and still not be ready. So we have that starting. Then for people who are not, okay, I am not even interested in the Adedola, I see you. Give me one sec, please. For people who say, I am not even interested in the PR thing, I just want to learn French. We have another beginners class starting in April. So if you're interested, I'm going to put a WhatsApp number in the chat. Please reach out and we'll be able to sort you out with all the details. Adedola, please go for it.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I just have a question. So now that you are able to speak both French and English, has it helped you in any way in getting jobs in Canada? Has there been like a difference?
So before you start, tell them when you landed, because so that they don't think you landed 3 months ago.
I came in February. I came here February. Yeah. I haven't gotten a job yet. Yeah. I'm still applying and still going through the immigration programs being offered here by Canada. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, so because when you come in on PR, there are immigration programs to help you.
Yeah,
So I
there are
came in
programs.
2024. When I came in, I got a job in 3 days. I got a job in 3 days. I got a customer service job. So it's not the best kind of job, but I got a customer service job in 3 days because I speak French. Even at that, I had been applying before I landed. So what I did was, as soon as my ITA was out, I submitted my application. I started applying for jobs.
Okay.
That's what I did differently. So by the time I landed, I got a job in 3 days. I got another one in the third week, and that's what I've been doing. But also, there are people that have been here for over a year and they haven't gotten a job. So it's not. Esther, please mute yourself. Thank you. It's not all the same. It depends on your qualifications, your experience, and it depends on how aggressive you are to apply and get a job. Because I did over 400 applications. Some people can't do that. So I hope that helps, Adedolapo.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we want to say a big thank you to Mercy. Please, if you're here and this has helped you in any way, can you just put in the chat and say thank you, Mercy, for sharing your story? It's not easy to get her out. It's 8 a.m. here in Canada for both of us. Get her out of bed. You can see that she still feels like, oh, I need to go back to bed. Get her out of bed to be having this with us. So thank you so much, Mercy, for your time.
Yeah.
We do appreciate you. Thank you. They're saying thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow.
Thank you
so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, it was a pleasure speaking to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you want to learn French, this is your moment. Even if you're not sure whether you want to do it for immigration or anything, start now, because Mercy said something very important. She had done 1 month when she had time. And if you're learning already, whether you're learning with us or not, practice. You cannot but practice. You can't escape it because you don't speak in that. I tell people, even if you have money, take a vacation in a French-speaking country for 2 weeks, 1 month, and then come back. You'll see the difference. And I also want to say thank you to everybody for joining this morning. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have about 22 people. We have 24 before. So we're grateful. And please join our community. We're launching our French Club monthly hangout. So maybe Mercy will join our community if she wants. And then we can help you keep learning your French, because if you don't speak, you will forget it too.
You will forget. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we have a French club. We'll be meeting once a month. And if you're in the community, you get all the juicy details. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ade. Thank you.